Amer, welcome to today's client interview. I'm really happy to have you here because you went through all the mentorings that I have. You went through mindset mentoring, you went through my advanced mentoring as well. So I'm really happy to have you here because you went through the whole process. And not just that, but I remember when we started together, you've been in a situation where you weren't really sure about poker, if you want to play full time. Maybe you can introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the situation you've been in the beginning.
Yeah, of course. Hello, Karim. My name is Amer. I am 27 years old and I am from Austria, a city near Vienna. I started playing poker 3 years ago, and for the first half of that, I played just for fun, small tournaments, a little bit of cash game, but it was just fun. But I realized soon that I loved the game and that poker could be a way out of my normal work, my normal everyday life. So I began to really think about that and to be sure how can I do that? And the problem was, since I was a child, I always wanted to be independent. Of course, that desire never really changed, but I had big problems through my teenager life and also after that. The problem was I had nearly no discipline. I had nearly no routine. First 1.5 years, I really struggled to win in poker. I was maybe break even, maybe a little bit lost, but I had problem to really earn something. Soon I realized I struggled to adapt to the world, and it showed me also on the poker tables. Players dominated me, and I felt like it's also cause of my bad personal life. So I choose to change that thing. I was studying strategy and so on. I was also very good at strategy, but I had just problems outside of poker, and the problems outside of poker felt also on the table.
Can you maybe give us a little bit of examples so people know what the problem was?
Because players dominated me, I lost the joy of playing, also the joy of living at some point. And at that time, I was a little bit depressed and I couldn't admit to myself. It was like I'm living in a fog until one day I reflected on my life and made a crucial decision. I had problems with tilt. For example, tilt was a big part of my problems, of my bad poker play, because I got very fast tilted, and when I got tilted, I made poor decisions. I just had no good mindset.
What was the point then to say, I want to work on this, I want to get out of this depression, and I want to start with a coach?
I reflected on my day. I was laying in bed, and it was a really hard time. I really struggled with a lot of things. Like I said, I got a little bit depressed. I just laid and reflected on my life. I made a crucial decision. Unlike many other players, I didn't turn to a strategy poker coach or a poker training site because I knew this was not the problem of my playing style. Instead, I wanted to change my life and my life also alongside my poker career. I knew that simply sitting in front of a computer, learning strategies and adapting wouldn't be enough. My life reflected my poker game, and that was the biggest problem. So I looked for a mindset coach in the poker industry, and there which how I come across you.
I remember our first chat very well. At this time, I was in Mexico, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we had a really good chat, and I felt that we can do great stuff together because a lot of times when I have a chat with someone, I see their potential. A lot of times in our conversation specifically, I still remember that I felt that you have huge potential, but through all the circumstances, all the things you just mentioned, that was holding you back. And since I think that poker is a mindset game and the person with the best mindset is always the person who wins in the long run, I felt like if we can improve your mindset, if we can really bring your mindset to the next level, this can not just skyrocket your life, but also your results. That's why I was so keen on working with you. Maybe you can explain a little bit of how we work together, what did we work on, just so we get a feeling of how it looks.
In my first conversation with you, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. But in the end, I decided to take the lead. I didn't care whether it would pay off or not. I just knew I had to do something to change my life. I think we started the program at mid-February 2024. And right from the beginning, I could see that you were really ambitious and you had a really disciplined personality. And I knew this could help me. This could bring me out of this fog. I could also feel how motivated you are. I thought that it could work. And so I chose you. Right at the beginning, we made together a contract for the commitment that I will 101% commit to the program. This was also something which really inspired me because I thought, why do you want that I commit so hard to your program? And that was something where I thought, okay, he really shows extremely ambitious stuff and he really loves also his mentoring. And so I really started also to think about it and also to see my ambitious stuff in this. During my first coaching session with you, this was in Mindset Mentoring, the first program. At the first I struggled a bit, since I previously had almost no routines and a little discipline. Everything felt a little bit overwhelming. But through the various modules and the structure of the models, which focuses a lot on self-improvement and developing personalized routines, I quickly realized that it was possible and my motivation also wrote a lot. Throughout the models, I kept asking myself why I hadn't managed to take this path on my own, but I realized that this is not important. What matters is that I choose this part and that I wanted to change myself. It doesn't matter if it's with another person who helps you or you do it with your own.
Yes, definitely. And I think also it's a good point that you mentioned this. Having a coach is not a bad thing because a lot of people say, like, oh, I could also have done this myself, of course. But I mean, I started this for over 12 years now. Yeah. So, of course, it's always a shortcut. If, for example, you want to go to the gym, you hire a fitness coach who has an expertise in how to build muscle, how to lose fat, how to improve your nutrition, and so on. If you have someone who is specifically trained in a specific area, that is a shortcut. Yeah, you can do everything. You can build rockets if you want on your own,
Yeah.
but it just might take you a little bit of time until you figure out how to do it in the best possible way. I really love what you said, and I'm really ambitioned myself because at the end of the day, I'm always saying, and you heard this a lot from me in the last couple of months, your success is my success. And that's the most important thing because people always say, who did you work with? And like, did they have results? And let me see some testimonials and everything. And I can basically show them. Yeah, I can show them, here, here's what I achieved with my clients. And of course, the best compliment I can get is that someone creates testimonial for me or recommends me to his friends. Also happened many, many times in the past. Or like you, for example, you sit down, you say, hey, Karim, let's just have a quick interview. Let's talk about my success here, what changed for me, just so other people also get inspired. And that's really the most important thing that means the most to me.
We started, like I said, with mindset mentoring, the first part. Yeah, there I developed routines that really also saved me a lot of time. I had really problems also with time management and so on. And you learned me how important time is. And through these routines, I saved also a lot of time. I also improved my focus. The routines helped me see life as something enjoyable also. Throughout the first course, I discovered a passion also for self-optimization, which I never really cared about. I didn't care about me, about so many things. And now I'm self-optimizing in every aspect of my life because it's just so important for someone. I learned what truly matters to me in life. I found motivation. I got energy again. I was lost in energy. I was laying in bed so many hours and doing nothing. But with this program, I grew a lot of in energy and motivation, which was a big part of my success also. And of course, none of these is possible without discipline. And this is also a good part of the mentoring because you learn really the discipline part of your life. And also with you, you push, push, push.
Always.
It's not only the push, you are always there for your clients. You respond to messages within 2 hours, 1 hour. This also shows your commitment. And then I don't get it when people also don't commit themselves. Because if you do this whole commitment, why shouldn't I do it? Why shouldn't I give 101%? I choose the program. So
Exactly.
I also have to do something. For example, meditation and visualization was a part of myself which I enjoyed a lot of. A lot of. I love it. Every day I meditate, nearly every second day I visualize. But meditation is a real big part of my life right now. Also, the part of mastering your body really helped me a lot. I was playing football in my young ages, I think 8 years or so. I did no sports. And this module also really pushed me to do also something and to see how important sport is also for you, for your energy, and also for poker, because you're sitting only and so on. It's really important. Also, my dating life, I had one girlfriend before, and I was also really struggling with my dating life, finding dates or really talking in public with girls, but everything changed and I'm really happy I did this coaching. So in every aspect of my life, I think I grew a lot. And not only in mindset mentoring, also in limitless, I grew even bigger because this program is a little bit more difficult, a little bit more in the detail. It's also much tougher and you expect there also a high discipline. And it's also the focus on diving deeper into your own personality was also something which was really tough, but I enjoyed this because I learned to enjoy self-optimization, and this was also a really good part of my life to join also the second program. And right now I joined also the final program, Advanced Adaptation of Mindset Mentoring and Limitless. It is even more challenging.
Who would you recommend now to work with a mindset coach?
For poker players is perfect because poker is not just only for strategy and so on. For me, the bigger part of my poker is the mindset part. Maybe because my whole life was a little bit hard. And like I said, I had no discipline, routines, and so on. And this one showed on the poker table. So the mindset thing was for me just is on the top, and then it's the strategy and co. But I think it's not only for poker players who started, it's also for poker players who are really high on the strategy level and plays for a lot of money because you just learn new things and you learn to adapt yourself. Adapt also your strategy throughout the people you play. So you play the people, and so you have also to be, you as a player has also to have a good mindset, because I think it's just too important to ignore. You can be as good as talented, but if you tilt, you will lose a lot of money. Sure, if you don't know the strategy, but you can learn the strategy really fast. But the mindset stuff is really hard. Also for me
Yes.
alone, it was not possible. That's why I joined the course. And I could do strategy learning 2, 3, 4 hours a day and being on the strategy top. But if, for example, the tilt kicks in, there is no strategy anymore. There is just my mind is completely down, shut down, no energy. There was just nothing, like in a black hole.
Yes, and I think a lot of people can definitely relate to that because they been in similar situation or they deal with similar situations at the moment maybe. That's why I think working on your mindset is definitely
Yeah,
one of the most important things.
I just learned that your life reflects you at the poker table. And this sentence is one of the key.
Definitely. Amer, anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I won't just say currently I play online for 4 days a week and normally live 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, and most of my live tournaments take place in Bratislava. Right now I compete in mid stakes, meaning online tournaments ranging from 50 to 250 euros and live tournaments up to 1000.
One last thing, which was also very, very inspiring for me. We managed together to take you from someone who is facing depressive phase in his life, having a job that you kind of liked, but you knew you have more potential, you can do more, to someone who is now traveling around the world and having an amazing life playing poker wherever he wants, online life, finding a girlfriend in the process, and just becoming closer to the person that you really are and that you also want to be. And I think that's so inspiring, and also the reason why I wanted to have you on today's episode. So thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate this. I'm sure some people like our chat.